Guys, you have to help me. I have a paper due for Casey Kaleba about the original production of Macbeth, and it's due in 2 hours. I barely have anything. All I know is that it happened sometime in around 1606, and Richard Burbage played the original Macbeth, and apparently Shakespeare played Lady Macbeth. Do you guys know anything else about it? I mean, I'm freaking out here.
Bro, relax. We got your back. Plus, you know Casey loves you. You're gonna be fine. Actually, me and Sam were just talking about Macbeth the other day.
Well, Alex, I know why Lady Macbeth was played by Shakespeare. It was because of the curses that the witch put on the performance. And the boy who was designated to play the original character of Lady Macbeth was overcame with sickness and died because of the curse. So Shakespeare had to play Lady Macbeth himself. So you can put that in your paper. It was first performed for the King of Denmark and King James I alone, just them. The foundation for Macbeth was derived from Raphael Holinshed's Chronicles of England, Scotland, and Ireland, because the book provided a detailed account of the King Duncan, King Macbeth, and King Duff.
Okay, Kat, you know all about the stages, right? Do you know what the stage was like during the first production?
Well, I don't think anyone knows where exactly Macbeth was played. I mean, there are Elizabethan stages that all kind of look similar. They had you guys know what the globe looks like, right? It had the stage and the audience sat on 3 sides of it. Oh my god, if you were poor, you had to stand during the whole thing. It's disgusting, muddy and smelly and gross. And then if you were a little richer, you could sit on the benches. And then if you were really rich, you could sit on the balcony seats. And it was really cool because you could see everything from there.
What?
Oh, and during the original production, they didn't have electricity, so they would always have to have their stages outside. And it was okay though, because the stage had a little roof and it represented the heavens. They would paint stars or something on it.
I need something about the acting. Does anybody have information about that? David, do you have something?
Well, Alex, I can tell you from an acting standpoint that, as opposed to today, the acting style then was generally melodramatic. It was distinguished by very emphasized and exaggerated movements and voices and an array of emotions, and as well as they used very stereotypical characters.
Just keep going.
The script there was much more text-based, and so it was declamatory and ranting because they didn't have sets or props or anything like that, so the actor was required to use his voice and his body to fill in all the other details that the set left out. So when we say today that we're going to go see a play, they said back then that they were going to go hear a play. It was probably really hard to find any information about the original Macbeth production at all. I mean, then they barely even had any number of copies of scripts. They barely ever wrote any of them out because it was expensive or too time-consuming to even copy the scripts. They didn't have any copier machines then, so they had to write them all out. So really, all the actors ever got were these things called cut texts or scripts, which are basically just the individual actors' sections of their lines and then the line before theirs.
Oh, he's gonna love this.
Alex, I think you should definitely include some stuff about what was going on historically when the play was written.
Yeah, that's good.
It was actually written sometime between 1604 and 1606, and there was a lot of stuff going on around that time. King James of Scotland had just been named successor to the throne of Elizabeth, so there was a lot of public interest and curiosity about the new Scottish king. So Shakespeare reached back into history and wrote a play about a Scottish king named Macbeth, who reigned from 1040 until his death in 1057. Aside from the name, though, the Macbeth in Shakespeare's play bears little resemblance to the real-life king. For instance, Macbeth didn't actually commit regicide. That element of the story was taken from the murder of King Duff by Donwald. Interestingly enough, the character of Banquo was included as sort of a wink to the audience. The real-life Banquo was commonly known to be an ancestor of James, which explains the witch's prophesizing that one of his descendants will be a king.
Okay, guys, I I think I have enough. Do you guys think I should talk about anything else?
Alex, costumes, hello? Alex, did you know that the costumes back then were very expensive and brightly colored? And they were usually contemporary Elizabethan clothing, but they would have historical elements added in.
Really?
Macbeth would have had included Gaelic and Celtic elements. And these Gaelic and Celtic elements were a short coat or jacket, a truis, which are stockings, and the belted plaid, which is like a sash. Did you know that the witches weren't conveyed as nasty old hags as they do today in productions of Macbeth, because the people believed that it was scarier for the demons to be inside someone relatable to them back then, so they would just be dressed as normal Elizabethan characters, which I thought was very interesting.
Whew. Okay, I think that might be good enough, you guys. Oh, wait a second. Casey wants this to be a video project. Is it okay if I just shoot you guys for a little bit?
What?
No.
No.
I'm leaving.
I don't think so.
Right.
I have things to do.
I have things
no.
to
Who
do.
is this
I'm
guy?
going to Chick-fil-A.
Oh my God.
Anybody else?
Guys, please,
don't wanna
it'll
do
only
that.
it'll only
You're
take like an
ridiculous.
hour or two. That's all I really need.
No, I'm
An
really
hour.
sorry.
I need a
Guys,
burger.
Alex.
I'm rather
You
than a burger.
are hopeless. Guys, listen up, Trudy.